Great new day to my self-care family and friends. Welcome to another episode of the Room to Breathe podcast. I'm your host, Life Coach 614, and I am so thrilled to have each and every one of you here with us today. Whether you're tuning in for a dose of inspiration or just a moment of calm, you're in the right place. Now, before we dive into today's episode, just a quick reminder. If you are enjoying the show, don't forget to tap the screen, like, comment, and share. Your support helps us connect with more amazing people like you. And we would love it if you give us a follow and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to turn your notifications on so you never miss any of our latest content. And while you're at it, I do encourage everyone to take the moment to head over to our website at selfcareclub.org. We've got some awesome affirmative apparel, motivational merch, and a bunch of free resources designed just for you. It's all about empowering yourself and embracing your journey. So no matter what challenges you're facing in life at this time, remember that you're not alone on this path. We're in it together, supporting and uplifting each other every step of the way. It's time for us to choose to prioritize our well-being and to embrace our growth, finding peace in the present moment. Let's get ready to breathe, reflect, and grow together.
In the quiet moments, that's where I'll find a little room to breathe, leave it all behind. Give me room to breathe, I need some time to heal my heart, to clear my mind. Gonna love myself, yeah, I believe in the power of me. Just give me room to breathe.
All right, guys, so our quote for today is, because you were focused on them, you can never activate you. Let me say it again for the people getting the groceries at the door. Because you were so focused on them, you could never activate you. So, all right, you guys. Today, let's have an honest conversation, okay? Let's have an honest conversation about something that we've all experienced before, but we rarely talk about it, right? The silent sacrifice of self. It's the narrative that's been ingrained in us since we were little, right? From a very early young age, especially for those of us who have been taught to be caregivers, right? Frick said, ouch. Y'all know what kind of day this is about to be, right? Big deal. And so, some of us were bred, like some of us were raised to be caregivers and nurturers or supporters. Welcome in, Mr. Awesome. And so we're often told that our value lies in how much we can give to other people, how well we can support the people around us, how selfless we can be. And so because we've grown up thinking that this is how we measure our worth, this is how we determine what value we hold, right? We spend our lives pouring out every single thing that we have into everybody else's cups. Kale said, I ain't ready. I need an ice pack. Listen, somebody get Kale an ice pack from the nurse's station, because we gonna keep going with it, y'all. Right? We spend so much time of our lives pouring out every single thing that we have into other people's cups, thinking that that's what makes us worthy. That's what makes us valuable. Kale, stay right there. Perk on the way. She got you. But in the process of doing this, y'all, we end up running on E. Shan, welcome in. How many of us have spent years, hell, some of us decades, prioritizing everyone else's needs above our own? Right? Your feet already stepped on, Coach. Perk, we're gonna need some more attention on the south side too. Brooks got her toes trampled in the process of this, so check on her too. Y'all gotta check on your people when they not okay? Perk got all the ice packs today. So listen, we've been taught that putting ourselves first is selfish. That it's noble to sacrifice your dreams for the sake of others. That our worth is somehow tied to how much we can give somebody. Right? But here's the truth that nobody tells you. When you spend all your time focused on them, you lose yourself in the process. You lose sight of your own dreams, your own goals, the sense of who you are, because you become so involved and so wrapped up into them, making sure that they succeed, making sure that they have what they need, making sure that they're inspired and motivated. But you lose yourself without even realizing it. And now all of a sudden you've sidelined the most important person in your life. You. Annabelle, welcome in. Welcome in. So let's unpack this for a little bit. Why do we do this? Why do we so often place ourselves on the back burner? Thank you for the gas. Why are we constantly putting everyone else's needs in front of ours? Annabelle says it's a sense of duty for her. Anyone else? Why are you constantly, for those of you who I've stepped on, now that y'all have gotten y'all's first aid, answer that for me. Why? Why do we constantly, or why have we constantly placed ourselves on the back burner? Is it part of societal conditioning? Mr. Awesome says, the way that I was raised. True said, I'm blessed to be a blessing and it kind of makes me feel good, like my love language. Okay. Annabelle says, I was the girl who was raised to do chores and help while my brother got to have fun. Brooke says, because I wasn't raised to take care of me. Kale says, false sense of selflessness. Right. And you guys, there's nothing wrong with taking care of your loved ones, right? Because it does feel good. It is rewarding to know that I did something to help someone else, right? So it does feel good. And I completely understand and can relate with each and every one of you. Truth says, I'm the only child, so it was a way to not be lonely. Yeah. And I can get that. So, you guys, the thing is, it's not wrong for us to take care of others, right? But if we get to the point where we are so vested in everyone else, we have to realize, what about us? Right? Even when it comes down to raising our children, taking care of our partners, our spouses, right? The time that we spend at these places of employment, giving our all, working overtime, working for free, putting in extra time, doing everybody else's job. Kale said, I'm the oldest. It's my birthright. So, as I stated, part of it is societal conditioning, right? Because we're raised to believe that our value is measured by how much we can give others. That being selfless is the ultimate virtue. We're told that if we're not good partners, friends, parents, employees, that if we are good partners, friends, parents, employees, that we'll find happiness through the happiness of others, right? But that's not how it really works. Because what happens when you give and you give and you give is that there's nothing left for you. What happens when you've spent so much time focused on them that you don't even recognize you anymore? Right. You start to develop feelings of resentment. Right? So for some of us who have, Kale said it's her birthright. She's the oldest, right? So for the eldest children, who have been tasked with helping to raise the younger ones, right? Their siblings. It's a sense of obligation, almost like they your kids, right? Your little brothers and sisters have now become like your children because you're constantly running after them, making sure that they're okay. They get in trouble, you all of a sudden internalize that and feel like it's your fault. They don't hit a goal right, you all of a sudden internalize that. In the same manner that when they have a win, oh, that's my baby right there. I helped her do that. I encouraged her to do that, right? You said your daughter does that with her kids and you're not crazy about it. Yeah, it's one of those things where, yes, do I believe that siblings should be each other's keeper? Absolutely. Because I feel like when you have siblings, and let's say something happens tragic to the parents, right? I need y'all to hold each other down. But the problem is, I think that the oldest should not bear all the burden, right? I believe that they need to be raised to understand that, yes, I'm my sister's keeper. Yes, I'm my brother's keeper. Meaning, y'all supposed to look out for each other. So y'all not supposed to keep coming to the oldest and draining their cup. You're supposed to come to them, take what you need, and then pour what they need. Right? So it's something that we can definitely, still teach our children and utilize our children for that, because they need to learn how to be codependent. But the thing is, they need to be codependent, not just dependent. Right? Because now all of a sudden, the oldest, the person who's been the most responsible, the person who's been the giver, then starts to curb what it is that they want to do because they're thinking about the greater good of everyone else. Right? It's no different than moms. Moms have children. Let's say the mom is married, right? So she's the mom, she's the wife, right? She's got these kids, she's got this husband. And now all of a sudden, mom has to prioritize the kids. Mom has to prioritize the husband. But mom also has dreams. So mom gets the kids up, she gets them out. Now they're of age, they're going to school. Mom has dreams. Mom wants to go back to work. Or mom wants to go back to school. Or mom wants to launch her own podcast. Or mom wants to start her own business. But mom is constantly thinking of, what are my kids going to do? Who's going to take care of my kids? Oh my God, I've been here the whole time. Like, mom doesn't get to do what she wants to do. Same thing for dad. Let's look at it from the dad perspective, right? So dad is like, okay, I don't like this job that I'm in, but the income is sustainable for my family, and it's how I'm able to take care of my whole family. So I can't lose this job. I can't quit this job, even though this isn't what I'd want to do. But society tells him that he has to be the breadwinner. He has to bring home the bacon for everybody, right? So now all of a sudden, dad feels like he's trapped. Now these people start to harbor, mom and dad start to harbor these feelings of resentment. Mom's like, Dad, I kind of wish I never had kids. Not that I don't love my kids, but damn, I wish I just didn't do this. Dad's like, shit, I wish I didn't marry a woman who had kids and then have more kids with her. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, as people keep giving and giving and giving without receiving or without pouring back into their own cups, they begin to have these second thoughts, these feelings of resentment. We feel like we've missed out on something. We feel like it's too late for us to do something. Is this making sense? Y'all understand this? Give me some green hearts. Let me know we on task together, y'all. Right? Because now all of a sudden they don't recognize who they are. They feel like they've lost themselves. And like I said, I always compare this to like husbands, wives, parents, mothers, fathers, right? Because or even eldest siblings, right? Those of you who have been, and I'm going to say it, burdened to be responsible for children that you didn't have, right? I ain't asked to be here, Ma. I ain't asked for this. And not only did I not ask to be here, I ain't asked them to be here either, right? I love them though, but I ain't signing up for all this. You subscribe me to this without my permission, right? And so all of a sudden now it's a slow burn, right? It's a self-abandonment. When we keep giving and giving and giving to other people, that is self-abandonment. And it's never something that happens overnight. It is a very gradual process. One where you slowly start to dim your light in order to let the others shine. Right? You slowly dim your light in order to let someone else glow. To let someone else shine. And you tell yourself it's just temporary. Yeah. You tell yourself it's just temporary, right? That I'll get back to my own dreams once things settle down. So mamas, y'all say, once my son goes to school, once my daughter's in kindergarten, then I'll focus on me. I'll get back to my dreams. I'll go back to school when they're in school, right? And then they become in school, and all of a sudden you're like, what else? I can't do it because then I might need after school care or a babysitter, or my husband will feel some kind of way, or I don't know, I'm too old to do it now. It is still something I want to do, but I'm too old. Okay, Annabelle, right? So all of a sudden we keep lying to ourselves, saying I'll get to it, I'll do it later, I'll do it later. And then what happens? Things rarely ever settle down, right? There's always someone else who needs you. Another fire to put out. Another person to please, right? Another situation to handle. We done all become Olivia Pope in this situation, and we're the fixers. We're the ones that everybody come to, right? And before you know it, years have lapsed, right? So much time has gone by, and now you're left wondering, where did the time go? You're left feeling unfulfilled. And, guys, here's where it gets really complicated. Because even when we recognize this pattern, we're scared to break it. We know that this is a pattern. We know that this is something that we need to work on. Hey, Papa Smurf. But we're scared. Right? Because we've been this way our whole life. We've been this way for the last 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. So we're scared to break this. Right? And then we're left asking ourselves, why? Why am I so scared to move on? Why am I so scared to move forward, right? Oh, because we have this fear of what will happen if we start to focus on ourselves. Oh my God, what will people think if I start to put myself first? Everybody's going to think that I'm a bad mom. People are going to think I'm a horrible wife, a horrible husband, a bad dad. Just a all-around selfish person, right? We're afraid of the backlash, the judgment, the guilt. We've been so conditioned over the years to believe that focusing on ourselves is wrong. We've been afraid to think that focusing on ourselves is bad. It is selfish. You do not prioritize yourself. You're afraid of burning bridges. But these bridges that we're afraid of burning, nobody's crossing anyway. Right? This bridge that we're afraid of burning has only been up for other people to come across the bridge. Because you've never successfully walked across the bridge yourself. So you got to ask yourself, is this bridge serving me? Right, true. Some of them need to be burned. So the bridges that you're afraid to burn are of no service to you. What you have to understand is sometimes these bridges that we have amongst other people, all they are ways for them to get to you. Because they ain't even got nothing for you on the other side. All of these bridges that you are protecting with these people, what is it that these people are actually doing for you? These people that you are trying to save these relationships with, what are they doing? Welcome in, Mr. T. Right? So now we've developed this fear of backlash or this guilt surrounding it because we've been so conditioned to believe that focusing on ourselves is wrong. And that the very idea of putting ourselves first is a betrayal. What up, Southside in the building? Right? And so we think that putting ourselves first is some form of betrayal. It's like an act of treason, right? We worry that if we stop being everything to everyone else, that they're going to leave us, right? That we're afraid, thank you, Mr. T, that they're going to leave us. We don't want to be alone. So we'd rather keep showing up every day, giving them every single thing because we don't want to be alone. When realistically, we are already alone. We're concerned that they're going to think less of us. Or that they'll stop needing us altogether. And for so long, we've defined ourselves by being needed by others. Some of us have done it so long now that we thrive from other people needing us. Cena, welcome in. Right? We thrive from other people running to us, coming to us, needing us. Thank you, Perk. But here's the reality check, you guys. You cannot fully show up for others without first showing yourself some love. Without first showing yourself some attention. Okay? When you neglect your own needs, when you ignore your own dreams, when you silence your own voice, you are not only doing a disservice to yourself, but you're doing a disservice to everyone around you. Because you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot give what you don't have. And many of us, we're running around, and we're like, oh, I'm okay because I can take care of me and I can take care of them, right? We're like, it's okay, I got it. I got 2 cups, right? Because I know I got to be there for me and I got to be for them, right? So all of a sudden, this cup is for them. And I'm like, oh, you need it? I got you. I got you. Oh, it's empty? Don't worry about it. Charlie, don't worry about it. Thank you for the follow. Charlie, don't worry about it. I didn't have enough for you here, so I'm going to tap into the me cup, Charlie. And I'm going to give you some of this. I don't have anything in either cup now. Right? Because I forgot that when your cup ran empty, when I stopped filling yours, I also forgot that I needed to fill mine too. So I was proactive in getting 2 cups, y'all. I got 2 cups. But these cups don't serve a purpose because they're empty. Right? It's cute. They cute, ain't they, y'all? Y'all like those colors? Serving spring energy, right? They cute, but if I don't have anything in it, what purpose is it? What purpose is it to me, right? And so that's what we have to understand, that, while we're out here serving other people, yes, that is fine. When your cup is running over, when your cup is of abundance. But if your cup is empty, and your cup is what fills their cup, what are you actually doing for them? Right? What are you doing? Because you cannot pour from an empty cup. It is impossible. You cannot give what you do not have. And so if you're running on fumes, eventually what's going to happen? If you're constantly showing up, giving everyone every single thing that you have, and now you're running on fumes, you're on E, what's going to happen? Hey, Z, what's going to happen? You're going to tap out, Truth says. You're going to start to break down. Right? And so this is where the journey of self-activation begins. Listen, Cena says, thank you for this because I tried to peel the plastic off my cup to fill somebody else's. Not today, Cena. Listen, honey, you done came in at the perfect moment. The perfect time, right? Because this is where the self-activation starts. It starts with us shifting our mindset. It starts with us realizing that taking care of yourself is not selfish. Taking care of yourself is not selfish. Betty Boop, it's necessary. It's about understanding that you have just as much right to your own time. You have just as much right to your own energy. And you have just as much right to your own dreams as anyone else. It's about recognizing that your life is your own and that you deserve to live it fully without guilt, without shame, without apology. And I'm not even going to hold you. This journey is not easy. I told you guys that self-care, that healing is not for the weak. Right? But we've survived X amount of years of every single thing. So we got this. We can do this, right? So we just have to first and foremost understand that this self-care, this self-activation that we're going to step into is messy. It is uncomfortable. It is going to require that you confront some truth, some hard truth. You're going to have to do some reflecting. Right? You're going to have to look at all the ways in which you've been holding yourself back. The ways in which you've been prioritizing everyone else over yourself. Right? And all the ways in which you've been complicit in your own self-abandonment. Yeah. Sounds like a little shadow work. And we got to get comfortable with our shadows. A lot of us are scared of the dark. A lot of us are scared with looking back in our past. Hey, Chandler. Right? And again, you guys, it's not an easy thing to do. But it's needed. And there are things where, you know what? If you are embarrassed and ashamed and you are nervous to take this process on with someone else, there are so many different things that you guys can do. There are books, right? There are shadow work journals that are available, right? Shadow work journals. There are actually games, shadow working games. And this is a game that you play by yourself, right? Best kind of solitary game ever, you guys. It's called Conversations with Your Inner Self. Okay? And it says discover the unseen within. And it has identify cards, which uncover your hidden psyche. And then it has integrate cards to allow you to accept and grow from your uncovered truth. And it said play best alone. So I got this particular deck off the TikTok shop. I think they're also available on Amazon. I will snap a picture of all of these and make a post for you guys today. And I'll be sure to double check and see if you can still get these on Amazon. But I'm going to link both of these books, you guys, as well as this. These are all made by the same person. So I'm going to link these today. I'll make a post as soon as we're finished. But I do believe that it is important to tap into your shadow work. For those of you who have therapists already, it is something that I believe that you should talk to them about. Because we've been running from the shadows for far too long. And in order for us to understand why we do what we do today, we've got to look back at what we did yesterday. You got the shadow journal? Good. Have you tapped into it yet, Trey's mom? Have you started the process? I ain't gonna hold y'all, it's scary. I do, with my therapist, I do something called brain spotting, which is a whole to-do. We'll talk about brain spotting another day, y'all, but it's a form of tapping into yourself and, just really beginning to do the work and to reflect. And it is scary, and some people don't want to do the shadow work alone. And so I encourage you, if you start and it's scary to you, thank you, Letho, that you want to maybe tap into it with your therapist or someone else that you can trust. You started and paused with your therapist. Yeah, Kel, it takes a minute, y'all, because it unlocks things that sometimes it'll unlock things that you didn't even know. You know what I mean? Like things that you've completely forgot about, and you're like, why is this happening now? Why am I thinking of this now? But I promise you guys, it is worth it. There is something so amazing on the other side of it. You know what I mean? And we just have to remind ourselves, we got to stay grounded in this moment, that as we unlock these things from our past, that they can't hurt us now. So, I personally, as a life coach, do not offer shadow work in the sense that it is something that taps into our past. And as a life coach, I have to be very careful, because that then, that goes into the spectrum of a therapist. Therapists handle the past, right? They go back into your past to unlock things that have happened in your past. They help you understand the past, do the work that you need to get through in order to be in the present. As a life coach, I am more focused on where you're at now. So once you've embraced the past, okay, this has happened to me, right? And you're in a healthy enough space to say, okay, this has happened to me. This is what I've dealt with. Now, how can I move forward? So that's when you tap into the life coach, right? Because I'm the one who says, okay, I do understand that this has happened to you in your past. What are we gonna do with it? Are we done letting it hurt us? So as a life coach, I'm the person that says, okay, I take where you are right now and get you to where you want to be. Your therapist has the ability to also do that, but your therapist will have additional resources and training to say, okay, let's go back to the little girl in you. Let's go back to the little boy in you. Let's unlock what happened then and why you're doing the things that you're doing now. So, legally, the way I'm allowed to operate is I'm not allowed to so much tap into your past. Because life coaches, we are supposed to deal with the present and going forward. So I operate within my boundaries, which is why I do not offer shadow work. Now, I will encourage people to do it. And while you're doing your shadow work with your therapist, I'm still right along here to remind you and bring you back to the present. To say, okay, this is something that you're going through and you're unlocking, but I help to remind you of where you are today. So that's why I always tell people sometimes, you can have both. Some people think, do I need a therapist or do I need a life coach? And I'm like, well, truth be told, you need us both. But if it's a matter of finances, and you don't have insurance to cover the therapist as you pay out of pocket for the life coach, then I tell people, start with your therapist. Get over the past trauma. For the side question, I believe that it could be beneficial. So if you can still hear my voice and you can respond privately, I believe that it would be beneficial, especially given your circumstances with everything going on. And I do believe that there's a lot of unhealed trauma. So I think that it could be beneficial. You're welcome. So yeah, but in a sense too, that's not me picking on you as well, because it is something that I am currently doing, I work on, and it is something that I would recommend to everyone. But very specific to your situation, I do believe that it is something that can help you, love. All right, so listen. So we know we need to do the shadow work. We know we need to do this work on ourselves. But the question now is, where do we start? Where do we begin? We've been giving our whole life. How do I tap back into me? Where do I start, right? Well, you start by setting boundaries. That's where I come in, y'all, right? You start by setting boundaries. Clear, firm boundaries that protect your time, your energy, and your well-being. You start by understanding that your no is not a negotiation. Right? And I know it's how it begins, right? Negotiations are how all friendships and relationships and, all of these things begin, right? But your no is not a negotiation. So you have to start by saying no when you mean it. By recognizing that it's okay to disappoint others if it means honoring yourself. I don't want to let other people down, but I also don't want to let myself down either. Because then I'm going to resent everyone else. So it's okay for me to let a few other people down if it means that I'm not sacrificing myself, if it means that I'm honoring myself, because I'm equally as worthy as they are. So why should I keep prioritizing them and sacrificing me? Now, I can make you a priority as long as I am also equally prioritized. But in order to do this, you have to begin making time for your own dreams, because each and every one of us have something. Each and every one of us have a dream. Each and every one of us have a vision. We've got our own passion to pursue, right? Each and every one of us have other things that we need. So we have to begin to listen to our own voice. Thank you for the follow, Angie. Thank you so much. So we have to start by listening to our own voice. It's the voice that has been silenced for so long. It started with other people silencing us, and now we got just so comfortable in the silence that we sit and we suffer, right? It is time for you to start trusting your voice again. And as you do this, something incredible will begin to happen. You'll start to feel a shift. I promise you, you're going to start to feel lighter, more energized, more alive. You start to reconnect with the parts of yourself that have been neglected for so long. You're going to start to remember what it feels like to dream. Remember as a child, we had these dreams? When I grow up, I'm going to do this. When I grow up, I'm going to do that, right? First lady, remember when you had a dream? When you had goals and you had a vision before life got in the way? Before you had them kids? Before you met that man? Ladies, I know y'all know what I'm talking about. That's my car, right? Ooh, I'm gonna live in a house just like that. I'm gonna have a mansion. It's gonna have, 10 bedrooms, 12 bathrooms. Like, we had this whole vision. 5-car garage. I'm gonna be successful. I'm gonna travel the world. I'm gonna be taking trips. I'm gonna have a house here and a house there. Come on now. Mansion, apartment, shack, or house. I know Kale knows. She just posted about this the other day. Right? So we used to have these dreams. And remember when people used to encourage you to dream? Right? Remember when you used to tell your parents, when I grow up, I'm going to be a police officer. When I grow up, I'm going to be a famous singer. And everybody encouraged it. Remember that? People used to encourage it. She said she gonna be a teacher when she grow up. My baby gonna do this when they get older. They used to even brag on us, right? They encouraged us to have dreams. Then all of a sudden, we was unrealistic. Yeah, then they started killing our dreams. They left us on our own. Because then when we really started trying to pursue it, they're like, oh no, you can't do that because you got to do this. That was cute when you was the only child, but now you got siblings. I need you to get your ass in there and take care of them. Okay, that's nice that you want to go here and pursue this, but I ain't got time to be taking you to practice. I ain't got money to help you with this voice coach. I ain't got this. So all of a sudden now, life got in the way. And when we didn't have people to continue to support our dreams, guess what? We started not even believing in our dreams anymore. Right? It was the tone in which they said it. Right? And so now all of a sudden everyone else has silenced us, and now we don't even hear ourselves speak. It's like we open our mouth and the words just don't come out. We've killed ourselves on the inside. And now all of a sudden we have this spark. There's something inside of us that is still alive, right? There's still some juice left in that battery, y'all. And the thing that they forgot to tell you is that battery is rechargeable, right? It's not a one and done kind of battery. You can be recharged. You can be renewed. You can be revived, right? It starts by remembering what it felt like when you had that dream. That reminder to hope. That reminder to strive for something bigger, for something better. It's the opportunity that you take to remind yourself who you are, whose you are, and to know that you were not born to be basic. You were not born to be mediocre. We are not the descendants of kings and queens to just be somebody's peasant. I'm not a maid. I'm not just a caretaker. I'm not just a mom. I'm not just a wife. I'm an amazing being. I am a person. I am a beacon of light. So I'm not just here to make your meals. I am not just here to clean your house. I am not just here to empower you and motivate you. I too deserve to be empowered and motivated. And I got dreams too. Right? And so I'm going to remind myself of what it felt like as a little kid to dream. I'm going to remind myself how happy I used to be before life got in the way, before this ghetto adulting that we live in took over. Right, DJ? So I'm going to just remind myself of how good that felt. Y'all just take a moment to remember how good it felt when the sun was shining on your face, when you were dreaming. Maybe it was when you were coloring a picture as a child and you were drawing out what your dream looked like with your little stick figures. Little girls, we had a husband and kids and a house and a car. Right? We had all of these visions. And then at some point, life just got in the way. But if you can hear me, that means there's still time. Because we're still here. Dreams don't die. Our desire to achieve them dies. Absolutely, Annabelle. So, dreams don't die. Our desire to achieve them does. And, while you have these dreams, and while we start to reactivate this self-activation, right? We recognize that our battery is operating low. Okay, our batteries are operating low, but I'm here to remind you that it's a rechargeable battery. It is a rechargeable battery, and I'm here to help you activate this battery. So I want you guys to start by thinking about what your dreams were. And yes, I know that dreams evolve. Do you know how many careers that I wanted before I got to where I am today? Right? But when I go back and look at all the careers that I desired, it was all leading me to where I am today. I'm 45 years old, accomplishing what the 5-year-old me wanted to do. Right? I had a vision of being a singer, y'all. I don't want to sing as an adult. I have the common sense to understand that this ain't the voice for singing. Right? But that didn't stop me from writing and producing music. That doesn't stop the music that I wrote and produced streaming on all live platforms. Right? So I am 45 years old. Probably halfway through my life. Hopefully I got another 45 years in me. But I'm out here accomplishing the goals that the little girl in me wanted. And the only way that I'm able to do that is because I tapped back into the little girl in me. I had to go back and I had to have conversations with her. I had to go back for her to tell me that she forgives me because I didn't forgive me. Right? I didn't forgive me for not knowing better, for the times that other people didn't protect me. And so the adult me felt like I did something wrong. So I had to go back and I had to tap in and I had to talk to her. And I had to hear her. And I literally had to hear the little girl in me say, it's okay. I'm okay. You're okay. We're okay. For me to stop punishing myself for what I didn't do. Punishing myself for the things that I did do to cause hurt and harm and pain to myself. I had to go back and talk to the little girl in me to give myself permission to move on from situations. To give myself permission to let go of certain people. So when you begin to do the work, you begin to feel empowered. You begin that activation, right? And you can't expect everyone else to understand. Some people are going to give you pushback. Some people are going to criticize you, right? Some might even walk away from you. But again, this ain't about them. It's about you. So me personally, as I'm walking this walk and I'm on this self-care journey, I can't care about who wants to walk away. You're just telling me that you're not for me. And you know what? That's okay. Because I know that everyone's not meant to go on this journey with me. I know that I'm supposed to be intentional about who I'm with. So if you want to walk away from me and you want to leave me as I pursue my dreams, great. Bye. See ya. Don't let the doorknob hit you where the good Lord split you. Because I don't care. I would have liked for you to be here. But I'm recognizing that you were here for a reason or a season. That you were never meant to be my lifetime. So I release you with love. And I can release you with love because right now I'm prioritizing me. Right? So I don't expect everyone else to understand your self-care journey. I don't expect everyone else to understand my self-care journey. That's okay. What I do expect is to rid myself of the people who really aren't for me. Because I know that the people who truly love me, who truly want what's best for me, will support me in this journey. Unprisoned and Royal Rules of Ohio helped you this week. Good. So we have to understand that, the people who are actually for us, they're going to understand that you need to focus on yourself in order to be the best version of you. The people who are really for you understand that as you work on you and you become a better you for you, that you'll be a better you for me. So I was nervous when I started my self-care journey because, as I told you guys, I got married in 2017. And then several years before I got married, me and my husband were friends. We were coworkers. And so he was introduced to a particular version of me. The unhealed, lack of boundaries version of me, right? And so he gets with me, we get married, and then 2 years into our marriage, I began to tap into the little girl in me. I began to start to do the shadow work and the healing. So now my husband is being reintroduced to me with no warning. And all of a sudden he's like, what the hell? Who is this? Like, she done did a complete 180 on me. Like, I don't even know this woman. And we had to have the tough conversations, and I had to explain to him I'm still me, but this is the real me. This is no longer the yes version of me. This is the I've told you yes all along, but really I wanted to say no version of me. I had to get my husband to hear me when I said that I'm working on me so I can be better for you. And that it's going to come with some hiccups. There are going to be some bumps. You're not going to like when I say no sometimes. But I need you to remember all the times that I did say yes. Nikki, welcome back, sis. Right? And so all of a sudden my husband realized, you know what? Let me let her work on her. Because she's telling me that while working on her and becoming a better version of her, that she's going to be a better version for me. And y'all, I'm not going to lie, it was hard. There was a stressful year in there of us really working together to understand, to find that balance. Thank you. We had to find that balance, y'all. And again, I'm not going to hold y'all. It was difficult because I'm a wife, I'm a mom. And I shifted up on everybody. But I had to do it. And I had to do it drastically because I was dying inside. I was having a breakdown. But I had to do it. Because I knew that I could not continue to operate on E. Mr. Steve, welcome in. FDR V-Day, welcome in. So again, you have to begin to put yourself first. You're going to understand that when you do, you're going to start to feel a shift. You're going to start to feel lighter, more energized, more alive. You're activating your core. You're going to start to reconnect with parts of yourself that you neglected for far too long. You're going to start to remember what it feels like to dream, to hope, and to strive for something that is just for you. And that feeling is so intoxicating. It's empowering. It's transformative. What's up, True? You got a question? Oh, wait. You said, did something trigger you or you just decided one day something ain't right? So for me, in my personal journey, True, I started noticing a shift in my mood, right? This, for me, it started happening late 2019. I started noticing that my mood was just off. I was short. I was snapping on people. Y'all, we done had a whole argument in my house over Kool-Aid. As crazy as it sounds. There was a whole ordeal in my house. I want to say the meal was tuna casserole. It was the craziest thing. Like, I just started having, I started being very short with people. I started walking around with an attitude all the time. And I really couldn't understand why. And then I went from a range of emotions to just being mean and angry, and that was never really who I was. So I started being mean and angry, and then I started being sad. I internalized everything that someone said. So my husband and my son, as I'm starting to snap on them and be so mean to them, then they started having these little jokes with each other. And they would say like, oh, she on one, don't mess with her. Well, then all of a sudden that would hurt my feelings. So then I would cry. Right? I would cry, and then I just stopped talking to people. So then all of a sudden, my attitude and my anger evolved to sadness and depression, which evolved to me completely withdrawing from everyone and everything. I stopped wanting to talk to my friends. Me and my husband kind of weren't communicating in the way that we've always communicated. Me and my child's relationships shifted. Like, all of a sudden, everything just started changing for me. And I was like, I'm not happy. So in, I guess you would say argument, a disagreement with my husband, I had to tell him one day, I'm not okay. And I'm like, and I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm not okay. Because I'm not a person who picks fights. I've never wanted the drama, right? So I had to explain to him I'm not okay and I don't know what's wrong with me. But all of a sudden, I'm starting to reflect on things from my past. And I felt like at that point, the little girl in me was like, yoo-hoo. Like, pardon my French, but hey, bitch, I'm right here. Right? And so she kept trying to communicate with me about things that happened in my past. And of course, it didn't help that, you know, in 2018, my dad had passed. It didn't help that I previously miscarried my twins. It didn't help that I had a series of toxic relationships, right? So all of these things were just piling up. But now I'm in a happy, healthy relationship. So why am I feeling the burden of everything else that had happened years ago? All of a sudden, every single thing that I thought that I dealt with by burying it in the basement of my life, why? Right? And so I was able to recognize that I wasn't okay. And that there was something deep inside that needed to get out, but I didn't know what to do, how to do it. And, you know, me and my husband finally had a blow up and a very explosive conversation. And I was like, I need help. And my sweet husband, he was like, okay, well, talk to me, and da-da-da-da-da. And so one night I began opening up, and I dumped on him, y'all. Like, it all just came out. And he's like, very sweet, was like, you need a therapist. He's like, you need a professional. Because my husband had realized he had stepped into some shit that he couldn't handle. And he's like, ¿qué? Like, that man just started speaking some Spanish, like, ¿qué? What? No habla inglés, lady. You know? And so I ended up tapping in to resources. And, you know, he's like, we just need to get someone else. Because he didn't know what to do. You know, he was just like, I don't know what to do. Welcome in, Big C. And so he encouraged me to go find help. And that's so big, you guys, because my husband is, I'm not going to say he's anti-therapy. He just believes he doesn't need it, right? So for him to then encourage me, I was like, shit, y'all, I gotta be messed up. Because, honey, my husband, who is not all into therapy, is like, you need therapy. And I was like, I'm more messed up than I thought. Hey, Big C. Welcome back, Papa Smurf and Butterfly. So, you know, again, it took that for me to say, okay, you know what? I recognize that I'm in a happy and healthy relationship, and I want to maintain this happy and healthy relationship. But I cannot do so operating on this level. And so I started going to therapy at the very beginning of 2020, y'all, before COVID, right? I started therapy in January of 2020. And my therapist don't take no shit. She don't play no games, y'all. And so immediately I'm talking to her and I'm doing work with her. But because I then became hyper focused on me, it was almost like I forgot that I had a husband. It was almost like I forgot that I had a son. Because now I'm so empowered and it's feeling so good because I've reactivated Shantae. Right? I gave Shantae permission to just be Shantae, not Kai's mom, not Shannon's wife. I'm Shantae. So now, while I'm working on some problems from my past and what I've forgotten, y'all, I'm creating a whole new problem. Because I forgot to communicate with my husband to what's going on. Because I'm like, well, he knows I'm in there. He knows that I'm doing this. So I just assumed that he knew. Right? But now all of a sudden I had to stop and realize, hold on, I'm creating another problem. So I had to go back to my husband and we had to have a conversation, and I had to explain to him that me setting boundaries is not me building walls to keep him out. That it's me learning who I am, what I'm about, who Shantae is. And reminding him that I still very much want you. But I need but I need to tap into who I am, what I'm doing, right? So again, you know, I also needed to encourage him to tap into his self-care, because I was like, listen, it feels good, y'all. Like, it's like that euphoric high that you feel. And I'm like, bruh, when you start to tap into yourself, like, you start to feel good. And when you start to set boundaries, like, it feels good to let your nose be nose, right? And so, you know, I didn't expect everybody else to understand. And I did get pushback from my husband, from my son, from my family, from my friends. I did get some pushback. I was criticized with that famous phrase that everybody likes to say, she acting brand new. Okay. it did make me cry because I did lose people that I thought were my ride or die. Right? But then I had to realize it's okay. Because those who mind don't matter. And those who matter won't mind it. Because the people who truly loved me and the people who truly wanted what was best for me would understand this journey. And the people who were truly here for me understood that the better I became for me, the better I would be for them. Right? And so for the people who didn't understand, I let them exit. King JP, Her Majesty, Faye, welcome in. I released them with love, right? Because I recognize that not everybody is meant to be on this journey. One of the things that my therapist told me, like within the first 2 weeks of me being with her, was that, are you prepared within your marriage for you two to not grow together, to not grow at the same pace? And that scared me. Because as I began doing the work on me, my husband wasn't in therapy. He wasn't doing any type of shadow work or anything like that, you know? So she said, as you continue to grow and unlock this person that you are and tap into your true self, are you prepared for him not to like it? For him not to want it? Are you prepared that you might move further on your journey and he might feel left behind? And I was like, I know, we're good. Y'all, it was a illusion. I was delusional, okay? Because it definitely happened. We definitely had to experience it. But the great thing is that me and my husband have always had open conversations. So when he recognized, or when he felt that I was leaving him behind, because my desire is my marriage, and obviously I want my husband, and I'm working on being a better me for my husband, y'all, I had to say, hold on, make a U-turn at the next exit, go back, get your man, girl, right? So I'm thankful and grateful that I was blessed enough to be able to double back and be like, hold on, girl, go get your man, honey. He your man, he gonna stick by you. So I went back and I had to pick him up, y'all, because I was like, this is not a journey that I plan on being by myself. Shit, I said till death do us part, and he ain't dead, I ain't dead. So let me go get this man. So I had to go back and I had to pick him up. And I had to then begin to let him know this is why I'm doing this, and that I want to be a better wife for you. And I want to be a healthier, happier version of me for you. And I don't want to yell, and I don't want to argue. I want to fully submit. I want to be there. Right? So I had to go back and I had to have this conversation with him. Because I didn't know better to have the conversation before, but it's a learning process. So that's why I tell you guys, when you step into this journey, when you are now learning to set boundaries, when you are now learning to prioritize yourself, I tell you guys each and every time that it is very important for you to communicate with the people that are close to you. I don't want y'all to learn from my mistake, because not each and every one of you will have the opportunity to make a U-turn and go back and pick them up. And I don't want y'all to lose the people who are truly there for you. So you have to have the conversation with the people who are around you. You have to be open to them and tell them that I'm not happy, that I'm not operating at my full potential, that my battery needs to be charged. You have to have the conversations with them. Exactly true. And so again, you should not have the expectation that everyone is going to understand what you are doing. And it's okay. The expectation that I have is that you just understand that I'm doing it. You don't have to understand why I'm doing it. You don't need to understand the benefits of it. You just have to understand that I'm doing it. It's my right to do it. And you have to remind yourself that this is your life. And you only get one. Everybody, you know, in this recent generation, everybody's running around like YOLO. You only live once. Cool. But you only die once too. So like, you have to begin to embrace the fact that you only get one life. And your life is too precious to be living for someone else. You have dreams that deserve to be pursued. You have passions that deserve to be explored. And you have a purpose that deserves to be fulfilled. But none of that can happen if you constantly focus on everyone else. None of that can happen if your only focus is on their needs, on their happiness. You have to turn that focus inward to activate yourself and to become the person that you were destined to be. And let me tell you guys, when you finally activate yourself, when you finally start living for you, everything changes. Charlie, everything changes. Your relationships become more authentic because you're no longer afraid to be yourself. Your work that you do becomes more meaningful because you're no longer going through the motions. Your life becomes so much richer, fuller, more vibrant because you finally start living in alignment with your true self. So don't be afraid to take the first step. Don't be afraid to put yourself first. Don't be afraid to activate you because you deserve it. You deserve to live a life that is fully yours. A life that is not defined on how much you can give other people. A life that is set up and prioritized by how fully you give to yourself. Welcome in, Empress. You deserve to shine, to thrive, to be every single thing that you were meant to be. And the only way that you can do that is to stop focusing on them and start focusing on you. We're not forsaking them. The more that I began to focus on myself, the faster that my cups filled up. And so I may have come into this with this cup and I felt this cup up. But then in the process of filling this cup up, it kept overflowing and making a mess. So I got this cup. This cup represents my husband. Right? And so I could fill my cup up so I could fill his cup up, and now his cup is overflowing. So I had to get this cup. That one's my son. Y'all notice my cup is the biggest? Because they got their own cups too. But I fill my cup up, which is the big cup. Then I fill theirs up. And guess what? I can just keep this going. I can keep getting more and more cups, right? To help the others around me. But the other cups, y'all, these two cups don't get filled up unless this one is full. Okay, so we have to start to prioritize ourselves. And we have to remind ourselves of who we are. Whose we are. We've got to stop prioritizing them and start prioritizing us. We've got to begin to fill our cups up. JP, again, it's going to start with you doing the work inside. I feel like, and I mean this with love. I really do mean this with love, and I hope you receive it with love. I feel like when you, based on the communication that you have with us in our sessions, that you are doing a lot of pointing of fingers, and it's making you the victim in the situation that you should definitely be the victor in. And I think that you can grow so much more if you start to focus on what you're contributing. And start to focus more on you. you know, this whole thing that we're talking about, and one of the things that I feel like you struggle with, that you tend to communicate to us in the group with, is that you are constantly putting other people, like you're constantly focused on them, whether it's the present version of them or the past version of them. You are constantly talking about what people have done to you, what people are doing to you, how people treat you. So your focus is on them. But rarely do we hear what you're doing. I think that you would really benefit on setting those boundaries and shifting, you know, your focus, your mindset to be about you. What does King want? Not what is he getting, because you'll shift what you're getting. But what does King want? So I mean, King, I know you came in during the latter part of this, but I think that this session would benefit you. Head over, you know, to the YouTube and replay this session. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into that, and I really think that you're going to need some shadow work as well, because again, just like everyone else, you have these unhealed traumas, and it is making you want to lash out, and it is making you want to do things and seek revenge, but revenge is not yours. Okay? Revenge is not yours, King. Like, it should not be a desire. You have to just you've got to just understand that people did what they did. They said what they said. They felt how they felt. And, you know, you've got to get out of that trap mindset. You've got to get out of that jail mindset, because you're holding yourself hostage. Most of these people who have done these things to you over the years, or who have hurt you over the years, they are out living their best life. They're not thinking about you. And if they are, they're only thinking about hurting you and harming you all over again. You know, to the point now where you're manifesting the energy and you're inviting more trauma and toxicity into your life. So you have to honestly take accountability for your role in this. If you don't like what's happening around you, get from the people who are around you. Maybe it is literally time for you to relocate. It is time for you to shift. It is time for you to do something different. If you want something different, bro, you got to get up and do something different. But yeah, you know, for those of you who feel like you're struggling with something specific to this topic, and you really want my opinion, and you really are ready to shift and change, I really would, you know, encourage you to reach out to me one-on-one to schedule a session. Because again, it's not on me to want to put everybody on blast. Understand that I meet everybody on their level. I'm not the life coach that's going to sugarcoat shit, you guys. Welcome in, Darlene. I'm not that coach. I'm the coach that's going to call you on your bullshit. Welcome back, Jolene. I'm the one that's going to call you on your bullshit. Playhouse, welcome in. And so, sometimes, I don't want you guys to think that I don't want you guys to think that, you know, when you make certain comments that I'm ignoring you. It's just I'm very careful on how I respond, because I don't want you to feel attacked. And my comment may be calling you on your bullshit. So I try to acknowledge it and I try to see it, but sometimes I just really can't react to it, because in that moment, the coach in me wants to just call you on your bullshit. And I'm the type of coach where I am very solution-based. I am very focused on getting past something. I meet people as their victim version. Yeah. So I meet people when they're the victim version of themselves. Right? And that's okay, because we're all there sometimes. But as we end our sessions, honey, you can't leave me still being the victim. You got to be the victor. And I can't sit too long with you as a victim. You get a few sessions with me to be the victim. Right? You get a few sessions. But if I can't help you understand that you're no longer the victim because, you know, And I have 100% survived every single weapon that was meant to destroy me over the last 45 years. I'm not a victim. I am the victor. I'm the winner in this. I'm still here. Right? So you have to, you got to get yourself up out of the trap. So, yeah. But again, going kind of back into our topic as we, begin to finish up here, you guys, I just want to remind you guys, not to be afraid to take the first step, right? This is the day. So don't be afraid to put yourself first. I know what you've been doing your whole life. I've been doing it too. Y'all have been there, right? But I don't want you to be afraid to put yourself first. I don't care how old you are. I don't care what the circumstance is, where you are in life. Don't be afraid to put yourself first. Don't be afraid to activate you, because you deserve it. Yeah, we rise together in the self-care club as a family. And sometimes family gotta call family on their bullshit, right? But again, you deserve it. I deserve it. We deserve it. You deserve to live a life that is fully yours. A life that is not defined by how much you can give other people, but by how you can fully give to yourself. You deserve to shine. You deserve to thrive. And you deserve to be everything that you were meant to be. But I'm going to say it again. The only way to do that is to stop focusing on them and to start focusing on you. This is your moment. This is your moment. This is your time. So you got to take it. You got to embrace it. You've got to live it. God gave you this life. So you've got to live it. Thank you. When you activate yourself, you truly step into your power. There is nothing that you can't do. There is nothing that you cannot accomplish. Every single thing that you've been thinking over the last X amount of years that you've thought is impossible, you got to activate yourself and remind yourself that I'm possible. Hey, Rita girl. There's no dream that you can't achieve. There is no goal that you can't reach. There is no life that you can't live. And that's the beautiful, powerful, unstoppable thing. So I encourage you to begin loving on yourself, to begin putting yourself first, to begin prioritizing your needs. Okay? Put yourself first. Put yourself first. Remind yourself that because you've been so focused on them all along, you've never fully activated you. And since your battery is rechargeable, it is time for you to recharge you. Welcome in, Miss Taylor. It is time for all of us to begin to heal the little boy or the little girl in us. It is time for each and every one of us to allow ourselves to thrive, for us to allow ourselves to be great, for us to allow ourselves that every single thing that they have told us over the years that is impossible, we remind ourselves that the word impossible actually says, I'm possible. So it might be impossible to you, but I know that I'm possible. And I have successfully, me, Shantae, has successfully survived 45 years of weapons that was meant to destroy me. And baby, I'm still here and I'm still standing and I am thriving and I am happy and I am healthy. I am in a loving relationship after having so many toxic relationships, after being abused and misused and mistreated. I can stand before you today to tell you that I am happy, I am healing, I am healthy, I am loving me unapologetically. Right? And the beauty in this, you know, again, that's not a flex. That's hard work. That's perseverance. That is me deciding that I no longer want to be in a toxic situation. That is me deciding that I deserve more, that I want more. And that is me deciding to prioritize my needs so that way I can glow and grow. And like I said, that all starts from me healing the little girl in me. So when y'all listen to the lyrics of that song I wrote, that is literally me telling you my story. Eyes full of innocence, hardly to all the wounds she didn't choose. I've carried her pain for so long, but now it's time to right the wrongs. That shadow work, y'all. Gonna hold her close, let her know she's safe with me, I won't let go. So we have to start by healing the little boy in us, the little girl in us. We have to set them free. And we have to tell ourselves that I got you. Me, myself, and I, we got us. From everything that hurt us in the past, all the things that we didn't choose, we got us. I'll shield her from the hurt and the pain. We'll dance through memories, rewrite our story. Rewrite our story. Strength and vulnerability. We've carried this pain for so long, but now it's time to right our wrongs, y'all. Gonna hold her close, let her know she's safe with me, I won't let go. Healing the little girl. Again, it is not easy to do the shadow work, but it's not impossible because I'm possible. We can do this. So again, you guys, understand that it's not impossible. I promise you. I am a living, breathing, walking testimony to let you know that it is not impossible. But you got to get out of these dark spaces. It's worth it. It feels good. And so no matter what your situation is now, understand that someone else has already overcome it. Someone else is currently going through it as well. We're not alone. Like I said, I've dealt with loss. I grieve. I have grieved. I have mourned the loss of people. I have been in abusive relationships. All the way down to some Ike and Tina style relationships. I have been mistreated. I have been abandoned. I have been neglected. I have been used. Hell, I've been violated. Downright disrespected. But I'm still here. And they can't hurt me anymore. Because I'm not that version of me anymore. I'm that I wish you would version. I'm that I dare you to try me version, right? Because I've embraced who I am. And I've forgiven myself for who I was. Like the song said, I used to hide my scars, but now I wear them proud. Every step I take, I'm shining bright. So again, I tell you guys, there's no dream that you cannot achieve. There's no goal that you cannot reach.
That's just fine.
You deserve it, and you are so worth it. You deserve a love. The love that you give so free. Shower it right back on yourself. Put yourself first. So as we wrap up today's episode, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining. Not just for being here for me, but I thank each and every one of you for engaging in this and for showing up for you. I know that this healing journey is not an easy thing to do, you guys. I know that admitting your vulnerability and your weakness is not an easy thing to do. I'm not even going to pretend that this journey has been easy for me. But I am going to tell you that this journey has been completely fulfilling for me. So much so that I wake up every day excited to share this with you. I wake up every day fully being obedient and walking in my purpose. I pray, I get the topic, I get the content together, all through prayer. I show up every day delivering it all through love. And so even when I step on your toes, and even if I say something and I call you on your bullshit, it's not because I don't love y'all. It's because I need y'all to love y'all. I can't do it for you. I can pour all my love and all my positivity on you, but if you don't want it and you don't love you, it's not working. It's not helping. So I applaud you for being here for you. And for those of you who are really showing up and wanting to do the work and believing that it is possible, I applaud you. Okay? And for those of you who are still stuck on the fence or you're still confused, listen, just keep coming back. Y'all gonna get this healing one way or another. Today might not have been the day, but come back tomorrow. This topic might not have resonated too well with you, just come back tomorrow. I'm pretty sure at some point in time, God gonna tell me what I need to tell you. So I applaud you guys for being here. I thank you guys for being here. And for those of you, who were here, if you enjoyed our time together, please, if we are not friends already, give me a follow. Subscribe to my channel so that way you never miss out on our latest content. For those of you who are interested, thank you. Thank you, Memphis. For those of you who are interested in taking this a step further, right? I encourage you to head over to my website. It is selfcareclub.org. I promise you it is your one-stop shop for all things self-care. There, on the website, you have the opportunity to book a personalized one-on-one coaching session. Y'all, your first 30-minute session is free. So you ain't got nothing but 30 minutes of your time to lose, and y'all waste y'all's time. Y'all waste 30 minutes all the time. So why not spend 30 minutes with me? It's not going to be wasted. Spend 30 minutes with me. And even if you decide that we are not a fit, right? Understand that 30 minutes is going to pour something into you. So if you go to selfcareclub.org, you can book a personalized one-on-one coaching session. On the website, we also have affirmative apparel. So for those of you who like affirmation tees or mugs, journals, things like that, we have a lot of affirmative apparel and other motivational merchandise over there that you could purchase. You can also tap into our music there, as well as a treasure trove of free resources for you. So you guys, I do have a lot of resources there. I have a lot of information there. There is there's a blog. There's two blogs. One of them is the Room to Breathe blog, which is just kind of my random insights when I get a little itch and I want to write something, right? But then we also have our Nurturing You blog, which has a lot of resources from the day's session. So if you were in a session and you liked certain affirmations or you didn't quite get the notes written down, you can always go to that blog to find basically like the transcript of what I've discussed today. You can go over there and you can leave feedback. If there's something that you're seeking, if there's a topic that you want discussed or you want to tap into, you can reach out to me there as well. So again, take the opportunity to tap into selfcareclub.org, your one-stop shop for all things self-care. Whether you're looking to elevate your self-care game or you just need some extra inspiration, trust me when I say we've got you covered. We have an entire community ready and available to help you get to the next level. That's what we do. But I thank each and every one of you for being a part of the Self-Care Club community. I am absolutely excited to connect with each and every one of you again soon. But until next time, I encourage you to keep breathing, stay positive, and remember that you're always supported here in this space. Don't be afraid to take up space and make a little room for you to breathe. I pray that each and every one of you have an amazing day on purpose, filled with purpose. And thank you guys for being here. Have a great day, guys. Thank you. Yes, Kale said, and that Room to Breathe album is available on all streaming platforms. Come on now, Kale, let them know.
I found my room to breathe.